Good afternoon. Today we'll be looking at the man who owned the gold versus the man who owned the world, Mansa Musa and Genghis Khan. This is the picture of Mansa Musa on his throne, the Emperor of Mali, and then Genghis Khan, the man from Mongolia who conquered half of the world. History has produced many wealthy rulers. Some accumulated mountains of gold, others commanded vast armies, but only two names consistently appear whenever historians discuss ultimate wealth and power: Mansa Musa and Genghis Khan. One controlled the richest gold producing empire on earth. The other created largest contiguous land empire in human history. At first glance, the comparison seems simple. Mansa Musa was richer, Genghis Khan was more powerful. But this is where the real story begins, because most fascinating question isn't who had more wealth, it's why one man's goal faded while the other man's influence still shapes the modern world. The king who could crush economies. In the 14th century, the Mali Empire sat atop immense gold reserve. At the center of this wealth stood Mansa Musa. His empire controlled major trade routes linking West Africa to North Africa and the Mediterranean world. Gold flowed through Mali in staggering quantities. Then came the journey that made Mansa Musa legendary. In 1324, he embarked on a pilgrimage to Mecca. Historical accounts describe a caravan consisting of thousands of attendants, soldiers, servants, and camels carrying enormous amount of gold. As he traveled through cities such as Cairo, he distributed so much gold that local markets were overwhelmed. Prices rose, currencies fluctuated. Some historians believe the effect lasted for years. Few individuals in history have possessed enough wealth to influence entire regional economies simply by spending money. Mansa Musa did exactly that. Let's check his picture and the gold he was carrying on his pilgrimage to Mecca. This is Emperor King Mansa Musa. This was his caravan carrying lots of gold across the Sahara Desert to Cairo and then to Mecca. the conqueror who owned no treasure vault. While Mansa Musa was enriching cities with gold, another leader has transformed half the known world. Genghis Khan was born into hardship on the Mongolian steppe. He inherited no great kingdom, no treasure-filled palace, no gold mines. Instead, he built something far more valuable, a system. Through military innovation, political organization, and strategic alliance, he united the Mongol tribes and launched a campaign that would reshape Eurasia. His armies conquered territories stretching from China to Eastern Europe. At its peak, the Mongol Empire covered millions of square miles. Yet, here is the surprising part. Unlike many conquerors, Genghis Khan did not spend his life accumulating personal luxury. He focused on expanding network of trade, communication, and administration. His true wealth was not gold, it was control. Goal versus network. This is where most documentaries stop, but the deeper comparison lies in understanding the difference between resources and systems. Mansa Musa controlled one of the world's richest sources of gold. Genghis Khan controlled the routes through which wealth moved. Think of it this way: gold is valuable, but trade network determines where gold goes. Mansa Musa possessed the treasure. Genghis Khan possessed the highways. The Mongol Empire connected China, Central Asia, and Middle East and Europe through what became one of history's most extensive trade systems. Martians traveled farther, ideas spread faster, technologies crossed continents, entire civilization became linked together. The result was something more enduring than goal itself: connectivity. So these were the trade routes of Genghis Khan. The trade routes of Genghis Khan under the Mongol Empire controlled almost half of the world. The trade routes of the Mongol Empire, how they operate. The Mongol Empire and the trade routes. Two different types of wealth. Mansa Musa wealth was visible: gold, palaces, caravans, luxury. Genghis Khan's wealth was largely invincible: information, movement, influence, infrastructure. One ruler became famous because people could see his riches. The other became powerful because people rallied on his system. In modern terms, Mansa Musa controlled a valuable resources: Genghis Khan controlled the platform through which resources move. It's the difference between owning a gold mine and owning the entire global shipping network. Why one legacy expanded. After Mansa Musa's death, Mali remained powerful for generations, but eventually trade patterns shifted, political stability weakened, the empire declined. Its wealth could not permanently preserve its dominance. The Mongol Empire also fragmented, yet many institutions created under the Mongol survive, ruled, survive. Trade routes remain active, diplomatic network continued, technologies and ideas kept moving across Eurasia. Even modern global commerce reflects principles that expanded dramatically during the Mongol era. This is one reason Genghis Khan's influence appears larger today. His empire accelerated connections between distant parts of the world. Some of the network. The real winner. Most people ask, who was richer? The evidence strongly suggests Mansa Musa. His personal wealth remains almost impossible to calculate and may never be matched. But wealth and influence are not the same thing. If the question is who possessed more gold, Mansa Musa wins. If the question is who changed the course of world history more dramatically, many historians could point towards to Genghis Khan. One accumulated extraordinary wealth, the other transformed how continents interacted. This is Mansa Musa, picture of Mansa Musa, the emperor. The story of Mansa Musa and Genghis Khan is not really about money. It is about two different forms of power. One ruled through resources, the other ruled through networks. One became richest man became the richest man's history remembers. The other built a history's most influential empire. Their lives reveal a lesson that remains true today. Owning wealth can make you powerful, but controlling the system through which wealth flows can change the world. And that is why centuries later, the king who owned the gold and the conqueror who owned the world continue to fascinate historians alike.